What is up, America? It is what are we calling ourselves? The Duffel Bag Boys still? We going with that? We getting a new nickname?
Duffel Bag, something like that. For now, we'll figure it out.
We're
still in the off
Titus
season.
and Tate of One Shining Podcast. We are going to talk about stuff weirdly that has nothing to do with the FBI. Well, maybe we might bring up the FBI.
We may touch on
we always
FBI topics at some point.
We always find a way. We are tasked with this, Tate, because we watch these guys. We are tasked with talking about the rookies. We watch these guys in college.
Some people in the NBA think that's a chore to watch guys play college basketball.
Yeah.
Which we do not find it that way.
The idea of watching college basketball for enjoyment and not scouting is a very foreign concept around these parts. That
you mean just players that aren't playing just for money?
Yeah.
They're playing for, the pride. Well, I guess back to the FBI. Right. Sometimes they do play for money.
So we have been tasked with talking about our top 25 rookies. And that's what we're going to do today. And I think when I think about the rookies, Tate, the big question that comes to everyone's mind right out of the gate is, will Ben Simmons repeat as Rookie of the Year?
The first guy to do that.
The first guy to ever do it. I think he has the talent for it. I think, like, when you watch Ben Simmons play, you're like, that's a man.
A guy from Australia.
Yeah. That's a man who is good at this basketball thing. The question now becomes, is he good enough to do it again? As you said, I went through the record books. No one has ever repeated as Rookie of the Year. But he did it. Ben Simmons did it in his second year. Now everyone's wondering, is he going to be able to do it in his third? We will see. I personally don't think so. Do you want to start there? Should we start with like the handicapping the Rookie of the Year race?
Let's get to the Rookie of the Year odds that have come out. But
okay.
I should say, I thought Michael Carter-Williams had a chance to repeat as a Rookie of the Year guy at one point.
People forget Michael Carter-Williams.
He won Rookie of the Year in the same way that Emeka Okafor also won Rookie of the Year. So, Rookie of the Year odds, for what it's worth, doesn't always, line up. Shout out to Emeka Okafor. Sorry that he got cut by the Pelicans. We'll get to the Pelicans at some point in the future, probably. Maybe we'll see what happens. Rookie of the Year odds. Everyone's talking about this one guy who we don't even consider him a rookie. We're going to get to him later because, EuroLeague is a different tier of basketball than college basketball. This is
it's on a
right? Isn't that right?
Yeah. So Luka Doncic, as we're looking at the odds right now,
so he's the favorite.
He is the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, and I think
plus 333.
The man. So here's my problem with this, with Luka Doncic winning Rookie of the Year. A lot of people don't realize this, Tate, and I don't. It's really strange that they don't know this, but Luka Doncic was actually named EuroLeague MVP as a 19-year-old.
Wow.
This is something that happened, and for some reason, it's just not getting talked about. But the concern I have with this is, like, as you know, once you realize that he once won the EuroLeague MVP as a 19-year-old, you realize, hey, wait, EuroLeague, isn't that, like, basically the exact same as the NBA? It's, like, the exact same kind of level of basketball. Well, there's, like, NBA, maybe, like, slightly one step down as EuroLeague, where a 19-year-old can dominate these guys that smoke cigarettes at halftime. And then, like, all the way down here is NCAA. So, in my mind, like, yes, Luka Doncic is really good and one of the best players in this class, no question about it. But is he really a rookie? Because once you have schooled these, these guys from Serbia with
these
back
kids.
hair.
Yeah. You're talking about these guys in Serbia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you if you're schooling 45-year-olds from Serbia with back hair,
while smoking a pack of cigarettes,
I think you've proven yourself that you're not really a rookie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But he is the favorite. I think technically he is a rookie, so we have to.
We'll acknowge the fact that is out there.
Yeah.
The next name that we have, the second favorite, is a guy that we both love. A guy that, as we saw in some of the recent reports, Kansas really missed out on this guy.
Some of the recent reports.
Number one pick, DeAndre Ayton, plus 375 to win Rookie of the Year. He looks the part.
So far, to me, this is not surprising. Doncic is number one to win Rookie of the Year. The NBA media machine is going to be pumping it. Like Doncic, it could be February and Doncic is averaging like 12 points, 6 assists, and like 6 rebounds, and people are going to be like, but you have to watch the games.
Let's say he averages what Josh Jackson did last year, which is about 14 points, 1 steal, like 6 rebounds, something along those lines. We're like, you got to bring him up.
Yeah,
you got to bring up Luka.
They'll still be gassing him up because at this point,
what would happen if his name was Luke Donald? That's the question.
His name was Luke Donald, and he's from like
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, he's from Cincinnati, Ohio. Does anybody care about this guy? But you know what, Tate? He's not. He's Luka Doncic. He won the EuroLeague MVP as a 19-year-old.
So put some respect on his name.
He's going to follow in the footsteps of all those other EuroLeague MVPs that came to the NBA, such as.
Ooh, yeah.
Not really sure, but
yeah. We'll figure it out.
But he is great. So that's not really a surprise that he's number one. Aiden, obviously not a surprise that he's the second best odds. He was the number one pick for a reason. He's in a good situation too to like win Rookie of the Year, right? Wouldn't we agree that the Sun, like, I mean, in all seriousness, like for example, Jason Tatum last year, he was obviously a very good player. I didn't really think he was going to win Rookie of the Year because for me, like the Rookie of the Year has to be the guy that's like carrying the team. You basically have to be on a shitty team.
You have to be Ben Simmons.
Yeah, you have to be on a really shitty team.
Just kidding. Not a shitty team. Just a joke, folks.
For me, like I get excited about the Rookie of the Year odds when I'm thinking about guys that are going to be on the shitty teams that can shoot whenever they want and can.
The Marvin Bagleys of the world this year, or the DeAndre Aidens.
I think that's but Aiden does have some help. You know, like the Suns are going to be, he's going to be okay-ish, right?
Yeah, we can talk about their team. I mean, they have Tyson Chandler, who he's probably going to start over Tyson Chandler at this point. They have Ryan Anderson, another guy that people remember, shoots a lot of threes. We used to be on the Rockets. I think what will happen, and we kind of talked about this off air, they don't have a point guard. There's all these reports that came out that they wanted to trade for Rozier. That didn't work out. Now it's Isaiah Cannon. Yeah. Is
he not good?
Well, yeah. Well, it is funny though. So the Suns went from having like 4 point guards 2 years ago to now they have like no point guards, and they have all these wings. They have T.J. Warren, Josh Jackson, Ayton, all those guys. So there's a chance that he puts up a lot of numbers, like 20 and 15, something crazy like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. So that makes sense to me. This is where it starts to get interesting.
Yes.
The third best odds are Colin Sexton. Whoa. You're giving that the X.
Not his fault, right? It's Ty Lue's fault, and it's the Cleveland Cavaliers' fault, and it's the old guy problem fault where we're going to play George Hill because we're trying to win now. Oh, yeah. We're contenders. You know, we're going to play with George Hill and Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, and we're going to see what happens.
Why do we think his odds are this high then? Why do you think Colin Sexton is the third highest? Because the Cavs.
What did I just say? Because George Hill is starting over him. So George Hill will be, he'll play 10, 11 games, and then Colin Sexton's the starting point guard.
Colin Sexton, the thing going for him is that I believe in Colin Sexton's NBA career. I'm worried. I don't think he's as talented enough to win Rookie of the Year, and that's not a slight. I think a Colin Sexton's NBA career trajectory is going to be like he's going to have ups and downs this year. It's going to piss him off. He's going to work hard next year. He's just basically going to get slightly better every year. Like I don't believe in Colin Sexton because of his ability. I believe in Colin Sexton because the dude will not accept failure. And like, if at any point he realizes I'm not an NBA All-Star, he's just gonna kill himself trying to become an NBA All-Star, and it'll eventually happen. So
I think it's kind of like
for that reason, but I don't know if I believe in from Rookie of the Year.
To put it in a Peter Pan sense, it's basically like he's Rufio and everything's going well in Neverland, and he thinks he's the king, he thinks he's the captain, everything's going well from where he's been, and then Peter Pan comes along and is like, "What's up, dog?"
Absolutely great reference.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Very good reference.
Next we have a guy that we talked about, and this is the New York media market.
As always, the media machine is going to be behind this guy.
Kevin Knox, plus 750.
Not just the New York machine, but the Kentucky machine, the Camelot.
The Calipari machine.
Yeah, the Calipari machine will be going. All that. What do we think about Kevin Knox, though?
We think he is Brandon Ingram 2.0. Right?
Is that what we think?
I mean, that's what I think. I mean, I like Kevin Knox. He looks the part. That's the thing with Ingram, same thing. He looks the part, so everyone's like, here it is. Here is our next Durant. Here is our guy. Here's our Kawhi.
The problem with Kevin Knox, I love his game. Very, very good. But I think the problem with him is that if you just watch like highlights, you just kind of pop in. You're someone who you're watching college basketball. You're flipping through the channels. You catch 5 minutes of a Kentucky game, whatever. He can wow you. He's 6'9", 6'10", whatever it is. He handles the ball. He's smooth stroke.
It's kind of like the Jeff Green syndrome.
A lot to love.
It looks the part.
But if you sit there and you watch like a whole game or you follow Kentucky the entire season, there's so many times where like Knox would disappear. And as we say on the pod all the time,
you got to make shots.
You have to make shots. There was a reason last year that Cal didn't like Kentucky, and he was slow playing Kentucky. Like, that's my biggest worry about Kevin Knox. Is like at the very start of last season, John Calipari said, "I'm not doing my podcast." He was not showing up on SportsCenter talking about how his guys, these kids.
Yeah, anything.
He wasn't doing any of that, and it was because he didn't believe in his team. He said, like, these guys are not good enough. I know that right now. He did it all year. They lose kind of early. Wasn't that bad, but what did they do in the NCAA tournament? They lost to Kansas State, right, in the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they had the free run, everyone thought they were going to go straight to the Final Four.
Right, it wasn't like that bad, but it was, like Cal kind of knew the deal, and I think that's an indictment on Knox, his talent. Because especially when you compare it to this year where Cal is just like over the moon about his team. You know what I mean?
And especially when you see a guy like Tatum the year before, which is that wing that you think Knox is. You know what I mean? Like a score, like a true scorer. Knox is a lot like Ingram, where he's not going to get to the rim at first because he's just sort of lanky and not as strong yet. And he's going to take a lot of mid-range shots. He's going to brick a lot of mid-range shots at first. And then as he builds his body up, he's going to be like Ingram. And now Ingram's getting to the basket. And like more things are working out for him at this point. Grow into your NBA body.
I don't mean to disrespect. Yeah, I actually like Kevin Knox's game. It's just when we're comparing him, like, is Kevin Knox the fourth best rookie? I would say no. I would say like the reason people are excited about him is because, again, you catch those snippets and you then extrapolate what you see over the course of an 82-game season. You're like, this guy's going to be unstoppable. But
it's kind of like watching Kyrie at Duke. You know, you watch 11 games, and you're like, this guy's going to be unstoppable. And you're like, he's sitting out the rest of the year. He's going to the NBA. He's going to be the number one pick. Next up, speaking of Duke guys, Marvin Bagley, plus 1,100, the Sacramento Kings. A guy that we both we were in love with Marvin Bagley.
I was in love with Marvin Bagley for this reason. He absolutely shredded college basketball to pieces last year. And my whole stance in the pre-draft stuff, that becomes our job after we cover college basketball. We then pivot to NBA draft stuff, and then people come to us. They're
it's
like,
usually a rousing success. People are very excited
and
about
people
it.
love to hear us talk about the NBA. That's why everyone's tuning in right now, and
we know how it goes.
They're eating this up. So people come to us, they say, what do you think about Marvin Bagley? A little undersized, right? Doesn't have a position, right? Not really great on defense, right? And you and I looked at each other, we're like, I think you're overthinking it. I think Marvin Bagley is just good as shit. Like, if you just watch the game, like, I don't know how. I can't really. I mean, I could explain it, but I don't think it really needs explanation. I don't think we really need to dissect how it happened. The man just completely shredded the ACC, which again isn't as good as the EuroLeague.
I think you just have to ask one company what they think about Marvin Bagley's talent, and they'll tell you he's pretty good. So
the other thing people forget about Marvin Bagley, he reclassified. He should be a freshman going into this year. He you know.
So maybe he will be the first guy that can win Rookie of the Year back-to-back.
Yep, exactly. And can we talk about his intelligence to reclassify that this is a man, I want to remind NBA people, may not realize this, Marvin Bagley skipped an entire year of high school and got into Duke University nonetheless.
But
so
did not
think
win,
about how smart you have to be to do that.
Didn't win EuroLeague MVP, though.
Did not win EuroLeague MVP.
That was the only thing that
But
really
his basketball IQ is off the charts. Yeah, I think people are just overthinking it. I haven't really watched him in preseason. He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah.
He's doing all right. It's gonna be a slow burn. The Kings are basically a college team.
Yeah, let's just talk about the Kings in general. We both believe here at this program, One Shining Pod, that the Kings are making a long play. It's the Vlade play. And the Vlade play is, I want Coach Calipari. What does Vivek want? He wants Coach Calipari. He wants the name recognition. And how do you get Coach Cal? You bring 5 stars. You draft 5 stars, all from the Blue Bloods that Calipari
Vlade
went
is
after.
Team Blue Blood.
All the way. He's just like us at this program.
Like us.
He's like, oh, Harry Giles? Yes. Marvin Bagley? Yes. Justin
Mason.
Jackson? Yes. Frank Mason? Yes.
Buddy
De'Aaron Fox?
Hield.
Yes. Buddy Hield? Yes. Every single college player that you love from your Blue Blood programs, Vlade Divac has watched. It's like the Michael Jordan syndrome. It's like, I'm going to watch these 6 programs. I think that they've scouted well enough, and then I'm going to draft a kid from the program.
This happens to me every time I watch the NBA. Contrary to popular belief, I do follow the NBA throughout the season, and I will watch games. But I always attach myself to one team that isn't necessarily a title contender, and I always basically am very wrong on how good that team is, and that's going to be the Kings for me. Like, I looked up the Kings roster the other day, and I was blown away, and I was like, I love this team so much. They're going to surprise some people, etc. And then I look up like their win, like we're about to do this wins pool thing, and I'm looking up their project. They're literally considered the worst team in the NBA, or maybe the Hawks are worse. Maybe they're the second worst. So that's going to be. That's it. I love how that happens. Like these teams with college. This was like the Sixers a few years ago, and like the Sixers were tanking on purpose. And I looked at the roster. I was like, I kind of like these guys.
Well, it was the time.
College stars.
That's when we were doing the can Kentucky beat the Sixers, in the same way can Alabama beat the Browns. That was like that period in time where we were doing that whole thing.
But the Kings, like if you're a college basketball fan, the Kings are your team. They have to be, right?
Yes. And they play like a college basketball team. If you watch the Jazz preseason game, they were down 42-17. Quinn Snyder is like running real basketball sets, and Willie Cauley-Stein, Harry Giles, everyone's looking around like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? And, Jaeger's just like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Coach Cal will be here in 2 years. He'll teach you how to play defense in 2 years. Next up, down the list, we got Trey Young, a guy that captured the zeitgeist until about December 20th, and then people turned on him last year.
Trey Young got chewed up and spit out by the entire nation.
So fast.
Yeah, it's a sad story.
It kind of was like Johnny Manziel a little, but like he didn't do anything wrong. He just kind of like kept playing basketball, but people were like, I thought this guy was the best.
Meanwhile, like nobody, and I say nobody as a collective, nobody knows what his voice even sounds like. Because like you said, it's not like he's very soft spoken.
No, it's not like not like a Jalen Ramsey
He's not acting
type.
a fool.
Yeah.
He just is really good. He knows he's good, and he shoots deep threes. And then everyone's like, "Is this a good? Are we sure this is a good thing that he's pulling up from 45 feet?"
And we have to be honest. We know how this works. You're not watching the games. All these people, you're not watching the whole game. You're watching highlights. And what are you watching? Trey Young from 35 feet pull up against the Spurs in a preseason game and hit a 3 to win. A terrible shot.
Absolutely terrible
Absolutely
shot.
terrible shot. But it goes in. We all celebrate. He's going to have plenty of those moments throughout the year. Like you said, the Hawks are going to be terrible.
Who is on the Hawks other than Trey
John
Young?
Collins, John the
Okay.
Baptist. There you go. DeAndre Bembry.
Who is on the Hawks other than
You know, all of those guys. Dwayne Dedman.
you know those guys? Yeah,
Yeah, just
those
keep
guys.
Tyler
like
Dorsey, a guy I remember from
Paul
Oregon.
Millsap, still on the Hawks.
Denver Nuggets.
Al Horford,
Boston Celtics.
Kyle Korver. They were Kyle Korver, Marvin Williams.
Could be. Might as well be. Just kidding, Marvin. We love you.
Yeah. So Trey Young, I think like the reason people are like he's in a perfect situation to win Rookie of the Year in the sense that like we said they're gonna suck.
He's a starting point guard.
He can pull up from if he would have missed that shot in the preseason, like no one would have said it. I mean, fans would have, but inside the Hawks organization, it's not like they would have been like, "Get your ass to the bench. You're not playing anymore. How dare you, as a rookie, shoot the shot?" They'd be like, "All right, well, do it again next. Try it again tomorrow because you're all we have." So he's in a great spot because of that. The problem becomes, can he consistently hit those insane threes? And I don't know.
Consistently, no. But
Right.
will he take them? Yes.
He'll
and
take
will they
them.
eventually go in because of the odds?
There's going
and
to be a
the
lot of growing
percentages?
pains, a lot of ups and downs with Trey Young this year. So I'm not really, that's the concern with him.
He opens the season in Madison Square Garden. I could totally see in the opening game because as excited as everyone is about the NBA starting, I think the players they all know that it's a long season, so they're just kind of like,
Right.
still a preseason at this point. So I can see Trey Young in Madison Square Garden in his first game having one of those special games, like 30 points, like sort of like what Curry did early on in his career in Madison Square Garden. People lose their minds.
Well,
and then he goes 1 for 14 in the next game, has 2 points,
Right.
has 8 turnovers.
Or the exact opposite. Or he sucks in Madison Square Garden to start. Everyone
dismisses
him, and
like
then he
he can't
goes
play
on
in the Mecca.
and then like he
Yeah.
immediately goes on a tear, but nobody cares because they're like, "Nah, we already saw everything we needed to see in that first game."
And they're like, did you see last night Luka Doncic had 8 points and 4 assists?
And he had that one play where he like dribbled behind his back and shot it off
And
one foot.
it hit
was
it off his
incredible.
ankle, and Dennis Smith caught it and
Dude,
dunked
he shot a 7-foot bank shot. It was crazy. When do you see that in the NBA anymore? That's the Euro smarts, Tate.
Kind of reminds
the
me of
Euro
Duncan.
smarts.
Kind of
Has
reminds me of
anyone-
Duncan. He's just a savvy guy.
NCAA kids can't do that.
Can we just we're sort of running down this list, and then we're going to get into like the actual names of these guys that really matter to us. Michael Porter Jr. is on this list. We have a fun time on our program throughout the year talking about the Michael Porter
Yeah.
Jr. mystery. He is plus 2,400 to win Rookie of the Year, which is better odds than Harry Giles.
He's on this list of he has better odds than Harry Giles. He is not on our
Gilchrist
top
Alexander,
25
Miles
rookies
Bridges.
list.
No,
though.
he's not on the top
this
20.
list.
No.
Okay,
No, he's not playing.
because he's not playing. Exactly. That's the
course.
point. Is that Michael Porter is not a rookie. He is I was about to come up with one of the he's a rookie.
A rookie.
A prookie. Can we coin that term? He's a rookie.
Bill's excited.
Yeah, Bill's very excited about what I it's like, ooh, prookie. I like that. Porter's a prookie.
Kind of sounds like a pretzel.
Yeah, he's winning Rookie of the Year, and he's the 2021 favorite for Rookie of the Year, I think.
The question that I have for the NBA season is who plays more games, Chandler Parsons or Michael Porter Jr.? And I think it's a crapshoot. I don't really know what side you want to be on. I think Parsons has a better chance to play more than Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. seems pretty resigned to never playing basketball, but to continue to get
what
paid.
if that, like, my God, that would be awesome. I mean, like, it would suck because the kid wants to play basketball. He wants to see out his dream and all that kind of stuff. But if it's me, if it's me, as someone who has built his career off of not playing, that seems like it would be a great situation, is to be Michael Porter Jr. and always be like 1 year away from being back. Like, I just 6 more months of rehab and I'll be there. And he basically just makes like $50-60 million over the course of his career and plays like 3 games. And
AKA the Chandler Parsons.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's fantastic.
It all works out.
He doesn't even play 3 games. What if he like just literally never plays?
Yeah, what-
He just keeps like, yeah.
But you keep believing the hype. You're like, he was a 5-star.
Because you know how like guys like sit at like the news just came out today that Nick Bosa on Ohio State he's hurt. He could possibly maybe come back, but he's like now thinking about his future. So he's always thinking about the next. And guys sit out in bowl games and all that kind of stuff goes on. What if Michael Porter Jr. does that? He's like, I could play now, but that would jeopardize next season. And next season's more important to me. And then next season rolls around. He's like, now I could play now. But if you really look at like where we're going as a team, I think next year will be good. So
I think
like,
he should be questionable for every game.
Yeah,
it's on every single list questionable. Everyone's like, I don't know if Porter Jr. is going to play. We're going to see what happens. Probably the last one of this list that
we need to bring up
that really matters to us as far as our program. Grayson Allen, who makes the Rookie of the Year odds.
He does.
Very proud of you, Grayson. Very happy that Quinn Snyder has made this possible for you. Plus 9,000 odds for Grayson Allen to do this. We know that he is replacing Jerebko.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yeah. Grayson Allen is at Utah, which feels like
destiny.
Absolute destiny.
Yes.
We watched him in Summer League. We were there, and I was ready to make all the Grayson Allen jokes. And then I just saw the way, like, yeah, he's talking to Snyder, and just the whole vibe of the thing with Snyder was sitting like courtside, and he's just over there talking to him during a free throw, and it just all felt so right. And I think, unfortunately, or maybe it's fortunate.
You're downplaying it. Like Quinn Snyder was cuddling Grayson Allen on the sideline.
I was about to say, unfortunately, we're gonna have Grayson Allen in our lives for longer, but I think that might be fortunate.
I did want to do a little bit where we guessed how many years these guys play in the NBA, but that's a little bit morbid. But I would say Grayson Allen at this point, he's on a Nick Collison career, path at this point. He's going to go all the way. I'm thinking 12 to 15 years at the least, even if he doesn't play.
The thing that's been lost,
Mike Dunleavy,
the thing that has been lost about Grayson Allen, because and deservedly so, because he made, I'm not trying to be Coach K up here and say like, leave this man alone.
I misinterpreted the rules. I misinterpreted the rules.
Leave this man.
I've never heard of the scandals.
Remember last year before
what
the
is
season?
a Nike? Is that what you're saying?
No, different coach.
That was the other interview.
That was the other interview.
Okay.
Well, last year before the season, when he's doing the sit downs with the SBA, and Coach K is like, I just don't understand why the media is attacking Grayson. This is a kid. This is a child. This is a 22-year-old child. He's just a little baby boy. Lay off of him, all that kind of stuff. I don't mean to do all that because it is deserved. Like Grace, all the distractions, whatever you want to call them.
We call them trips.
Yes, the tripping was brought upon himself. But it should be mentioned that Grayson Allen is a good basketball player.
Yes,
and
very good at basketball.
Like the memes. Surround.
Like people were shocked when he was a first-round pick,
right,
and
exactly.
It's like Grayson Allen is a surefire first-round pick. Like he is a guy that was going to go in the first
very,
round.
very talented. It's just we don't like talking about his talent. We'd rather talk about him tripping people. And
this is a man
stupid haircut.
Who, in a write-up before the draft, was compared to LeBron James in the sense that he was a point forward.
He's been compared to LeBron James.
Luka Doncic.
Dickie. He's
So that's high praise. Two best players in the league.
Dickie V always compared him to John Havlicek.
Yes.
That was the other thing.
And Danny Ferry.
And then Jalen, on the night of the draft, pulled out the Bob Sura, which was my favorite. We should have done that. That should have been our bit with the rookies. Like we should compare all these guys. We should do Jalen comparisons for all these guys for this segment.
We're like, this reminds me of a mix between Alex English and Pete Maravich. Everyone's like, what? Does that person exist? That sounds like the greatest basketball player of all time. And then it's Alex Ajinka.
It's a dash of Mark Price, little Byron Russell in there.
Something like that. Should we go through? So we talked about Trey Young a little bit. We talked about Colin Sexton. This guy is a guy, Landry Shamet. Like, come on. This is Marquel Folds insurance, as I like to say.
Yeah.
They decided.
He's been playing well, right, in the preseason? That doesn't surprise me. Wichita State was a little disappointing last year, and they kind of. The beauty of being a mid-major, by the way, is that when you're good, people notice, and when you aren't as good, it just kind of disappears. And like no one really remembers that Wichita State should have been better last year. It's just like, oh, they weren't good. So people just kind of ignored them, whereas we probably should have been a little
perturbed by the whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it during the year. I mean, it was a lot of the guys where Shaq Moore, some of those guys that McDuffel, as I like to call him, we thought that those guys would step up. They didn't. But this isn't about Wichita State. This is about the NBA. Right. This is about the Sixers.
I keep forgetting we're doing an NBA Palooza. I'm sorry.
People were like, where is Wichita State? What are you talking about?
My bad.
The Sixers have Marquel Folds, who was the number one pick. We've talked about that before. That happened. They traded for that. They drafted him. He had a tough time last year. Now everyone thinks he's back. He's going to start.
Serious question. Is he up for Rookie of the Year? Is he?
No.
He's not? Why not?
He played games.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Last
remember
year?
Joe House told us he had that one triple-double that everyone's excited
Oh, that's
about.
right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's where he's at.
Cool.
And so they have Shamet and they have TJ McConnell. Shamet is basically Marquel Folds light. He's not
That
as
is
good.
right. I do remember him coming back.
Yeah, he's not
Shamet's
not as talented or athletic as Marquel Folds, but he also knows how to play basketball. He's longer than you think. He's smarter than you think. All the good things that you want out of a point guard. Seriously, like Landry Shamet is very underrated, I think, and that was a pretty good pick for them.
Landry Shamet, if he should have come out 2 years ago after the they ended up losing to Kentucky, was it that year? Yeah, he should have come out
2014, right?
no, the
20. Jesus, I don't even know what year it
you
is.
said 2014.
I don't know what year it is.
2 years ago, they beat Dayton in the IU sweepstakes when it was Greg Marshall versus Archie Miller. And then I think they lost to Kentucky in the second. Was it the second round?
This is in 2016.
Yeah, he should have come out then.
Should have come out then.
Anyway.
As we always say about every player, you probably should just go out when your value's great. Just go to the draft.
More guys. I don't understand this. Remember when guys used to come out after high school? Like guys don't do that anymore. It's weird. That's what I feel like more guys should do that. I don't understand.
Where are the Tracy McGrady's in the world? Where's the talent? We're losing it. Speaking of talented guys and guys that are fans of this, of the Ringer in general,
it's time.
Especially fans of Kevin O'Connor.
We are now losing our entire NBA audience because we want to talk about Mo Wagner, and everyone's saying who? Who is Mo Wagner?
You mean Moritz Wagner?
Yeah, Moritz. I know of Moritz Wagner, but who is Mo Wagner?
The guy from Michigan, yeah.
Was drafted by the Lakers. I thought I've gone back and forth 100 times. So like when he was initially drafted, LeBron had not signed with LA yet. We kind of thought it might happen. Signs were pointing that way. Brian Windhorst was going on TV and being like, "Listen, I don't know anything, but I'm just saying he's going to the Lakers, but I don't know anything."
It's like I haven't talked to LeBron, but he did
suspicious.
just buy a house and he has purple and
Wendy,
gold
that
stuff
seems a
hanging
little
out.
suspicious. I think LeBron might be. But at the time when Wagner was drafted by the Lakers, I thought that is a perfect fit for him. Like this super young team. He's going to be in a great spot. I was very excited about it. And then LeBron signs, and LeBron basically does his like renovation of the Lakers where he guts the entire house and gets, puts it up how he likes it. And I was really worried that Wagner is now going to be lost in the shuffle. But then like other people think he's actually going to, not me, I don't know. He's actually got a shot. Like he might not actually be traded and stuff. I don't know. I'm hearing things from everybody. I don't know what to think anymore.
Well, Wendy's not here. He's not in LA, so that hurts. Like Windhorst is the guy that's going to tell us what's actually going on with LeBron. We don't have that boots on the ground anymore, unfortunately. I think Wagner got screwed by LeBron because Wagner's a 5. LeBron is probably going to play more of the 5 on this Lakers team than we thought. But I think that he likes Wagner because LeBron, speaking of the NBA, LeBron James likes college basketball. He watches college basketball. He knows Mo Wagner. He watched him go all the way to the title game. He knows what it's about.
That's what I mean.
So I think LeBron, in the same way that LeBron James said, I will stay in Miami if you guys trade PJ Harrison for Shabazz Napier. I think he did want Mo Wagner. I don't know if they talked before it. That's colluding. I doubt it happened. But I think he likes Wagner and wants Wagner to be in L.A. And we need Wagner to be in L.A. because Kevin O'Connor and Mo Wagner are going to be
our best friends.
Yeah,
they already are best friends.
They already are best friends.
That's Wagner is KOC's LeBron.
Beverly
source.
Hills Cops 3. Mo Wagner, Kevin O'Connor.
Spoiler alert for all the Ringer people. When you hear KOC say the words, "My sources are telling me LeBron," and then it's ... whatever he says after that.
That's a text message
just take
from Mo
out my
Wagner.
sources are telling me.
Yes,
Say,
Mo Wagner just texted me that LeBron said we're playing like shit in practice, and if we don't step it up, he's cutting all of us.
No, so the Wagner, the point I was making was like when LeBron said he's coming to the Lakers, I thought Wagner is gone. Like he's going to be traded in the snap of a finger. They're going to find a way to ship him out. But I don't think
still could be traded.
I don't think. Yeah, that's true. But I don't necessarily think I don't think LeBron does that as much in it, like because I feel like he's kind of got his guys and they're going to be fine. Like I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm an idiot.
I think you just love.
I want Wagner to stick here. I'm trying to talk myself into this.
You just love LeBron and the idea of this man having this team, and you. No,
here's the point I'm making. Like LeBron with the Cavs or whatever is like.
You're saying he's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yes, Tate. Yes. Like it used to be like. I have to win now. Like I'm gonna gut the team.
I want Kevin Love.
I feel like he's a little more patient now, and he's willing to keep Wagner around. Hopefully, I don't know.
He's wised.
I'm just trying to talk myself into
He's wised up in his old age. Let's talk about another guy from Ohio. Speaking of Ohio, He's not from Ohio, but played in Ohio. Trayvon Blewett.
Trayvon Blewett. He pronounced it the correct way.
Yeah,
you got tripped up by Trayvon Duval.
Yeah. Blewett comes and basically doesn't get drafted. No one really. We always liked Blewett. He was one of the best players in the country.
He was an All-American.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was like
always.
kind of a National Player of the Year run there for a second. There was like a 2-month stretch where it was like if you said Trayvon Blewett should win National Player of the Year, no one thought you were really that crazy.
No, everyone's like, hey, he's pretty good, and I like that Xavier team, and Chris Mack's a good coach, and now Chris Mack's at Louisville, and the rest is history. But Blewett is with the Pelicans. He's got a 2-way deal. And if there's any team, I mean, if you're just a basketball player and you're in the EuroLeague and you're like, I finished 3rd in the EuroLeague MVP race and I'm only 22 years old, I think you got to call your agent and say, can I play on the Pelicans?
Yeah.
Like, I think I can beat out Deron Lamb or whoever is on their team and Eachwan Moore, whoever these people are. I think Alex Ajinka just got traded out of there or something like that. I think he has a chance to play. I don't know what that will mean for Blewett.
I think if you are on the Pelicans, you have a chance to play.
Yes.
I think you and I could be on the Pelicans and have a chance to play. Moving along, Omari Spellman, Villanova Wildcat, kind of a underappreciated. I mean, by the end of the season, he was very appreciated. But he was drafted. Was he a first rounder?
Yeah. So 3 first rounders for Atlanta. They have Trey Young, who goes first, Kevin Huerter, who goes second from Maryland, who's the shooter, and then Omari Spellman, who goes 30th. And Spellman obviously is basically Dwayne Dedmon insurance. Okay. So he'll be the 5. Okay. Collins ideally would be the 4.
I like your insurance. Is this
insurance.
A new bit? Are we getting the?
No, it's Dwayne Dedmon insurance.
Can we turn this into a bit? We're sponsored. The whole NBA Palooza is sponsored by State Farm.
Yeah.
Can we get like Tate Frazier insurance salesman? And he's like all these guys. Omari Spellman.
Dwayne Dedmon insurance.
There you go.
There you go. Buy it up. That's what Atlanta did. Omari Spellman can shoot threes. He can do a lot of stuff. He was impressive in the tournament. We like him. Apparently, he's not going to play, but so much early on because he's like still figuring things out. I've seen him jack a lot of threes. Well, also make a lot of threes, but he's been jacking a lot of threes. So I think they're trying to get him to kind of buy into being an actual 5.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Duncan Robinson. Now we've officially lost the audience at this point. They're saying why is Duncan Robinson on your top 25 rookies list? And I'm going to tell you why. This man is an underdog hero, Tate, that has like he took Summer League by storm. Gets his 2-way contract. Probably going to be playing in Sioux Falls in the Pentagon. We found out, by the way. Can we just mention that the Heat's G League team is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is the funniest thing
to motivate their players. Because they're basically like, oh, you really like Miami? You like the 305? Well, you're going to Sioux Falls.
But we have to put Duncan Robinson, friend of the program, on the list. We're hoping to get some NBA burn.
Yeah, and a 2-way player and a guy that went from D3 to D1 to a national.
A guy
title
that's
game.
also wore I've seen him wear number 62 for the Heat and wear number 55 for the Heat, and I hope that becomes a shtick where he just looks like he embraces the fact that he's the guy that they just like toss the jersey. The random jersey they have laying there with the
and now number 77 Duncan Robinson. Yeah, that's perfect.
Moving along, Ray Spalding. What you just shook your head. What does that mean? I
mean, Ray Spalding is like a true. We talked about this. We were talking about Louisville last night. We thought that he was going to be Mahmoud, but better and have a great season. But then we realized that we didn't actually watch Louisville basketball last season.
Did.
We just talked about Rick Pitino the entire time. So we weren't really fair to Ray Spalding. I thought that was a pretty good pick for the Mavs. Or they didn't even pick him. I think they just brought him in for the Mavs. And he's like a 7-footer that can run the floor, looks the part, has all the like random. Like you talk about Mitchell Robinson and all these guys that they drafted and people were excited about. It's like Ray Spalding is one of those guys as well.
He got cheated by the Pitino stuff, and I used cheated in a sense that like if Pitino was still coaching last year, people would be much higher.
We could say he got shortchanged.
Yeah, there you go. He got shortchanged by all the Louisville stuff, but we believe in his talent. Another Laker, Svi Mikhailuk, that I think Lakers fans are like loving him. He's doing well, right?
Again, if his name was Sam Miller, no way he gets drafted in the second round.
I've been seeing though a lot of stuff on like maybe it's just people tweeted at me every time Svi Mikhailuk does anything.
Oh, LeBron
I've been seeing
loves,
that he's
LeBron
like blowing up. Yeah,
like they have these videos in practice of LeBron just like throwing the ball to the corner to Svi Mikhailuk for wide open threes, and of course he makes it every time. That's what Svi does. Bridges, this is the most fun story of the draft. He gets drafted by the hometown Sixers. Everyone's excited. His mom is crying. She's like, we're going to be in the same building forever. Yep. You could see the darkness in his face. He was like, I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah.
I have to stay around my family again. He gets traded, luckily, to the Phoenix Suns. They have an abundance of wings at this point. But Bridges gets out of Dodge, and now they have T.J. Warren, Mikal Bridges, and
now,
Josh Jackson.
Instead of playing for one of the most exciting young, fun teams in his hometown, he gets to go to Phoenix and sit the bench.
He looked pretty happy about it. He looked pretty happy about it. I mean, a lot of pressure at Villanova for the last few years, so I don't blame him.
Miles Bridges, speaking of Bridges, played out of position all year last year. The biggest, I'll never get over what Tom Izzo did to that team, how he ruined Michigan State last year. And
let's say Nick Ward.
Yeah, Nick Ward.
I think it was more Nick Ward intimidation.
Yeah, Tom Izzo enabled him. But Miles Bridges plays for your Hornets now.
He's going to be starting over Michael Kidd-Gilchrist very soon. And I think he lost 15 pounds. This is the classic. This is the time when everyone loses
15 pounds of fat.
Yeah, everyone
not
loses.
muscle. Certainly,
not muscle.
you would never lose 15 pounds of muscle. You lost 15 pounds of fat.
15 pounds of fat,
Right.
which is easy to do. People do it all the time. Miles Bridges will become the small forward. We thought he was out of position. Now it looks like he actually is athletic enough to play the three. And I think he might be a dark horse Rookie of the Year pick.
Well, okay,
33 to 1 odds.
okay.
33 to 1
that's a little crazy. Yeah, okay, a little crazy, but
the man dunks the
he
ball.
played out of position for college. Like I knew his NBA future was small forward, but Tom Izzo, your job is not to worry about the NBA future. Your job is to win the national championship. The Big Ten needs you to win a national championship, please. Moving on, Donte D Vincenzo,
the big ragu. I think that's all we have to say. The big ragu. He's basically going to come in and
most
help
outstanding
these guys.
player, Final Four most outstanding player. Is he going to get burned for the Bucks?
Yeah, somewhat.
We'll see.
I think so.
Vince Edwards, where did he go? The Rockets?
Yeah.
He's on the Rockets.
Vince Edwards on the Rockets signed. We saw him at the 3-on-3 tournament. Good shooter, 6'7". They need wing help. They need young guys to come in because they lost Ariza and Luke Mbamute. So now they have James.
My Vince Edwards opinion after watching him play at Purdue for his entire career, he is the definition of like a good guy basketball player. That like he's got all the talent in the world. He's a very nice guy, but that's what's holding him back.
Sort of like a Justin Jackson thing.
Yeah, I wish he'd be more of a dick, and he would be much
more
better.
of a Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that's my Vince Edwards opinion. Jaren Jackson Jr., Memphis Grizzlies. I did not really love him last year because again he was not used correctly at Michigan State. But I was just in Memphis, not to brag. I was just in Memphis a few days ago, and he looks good.
And you heard good things,
the
right?
Grizzlies, Conley's really excited about him. I did hear though that apparently word on the street is he's kind of a child and just how he talks and carries himself and all that kind of stuff. So
he's not like a 19-year-old EuroLeague MVP.
I don't mean like he's
just a normal 19-year-old.
Yeah, he's just like a normal 19-year-old. People forget these kids are very young, Tate. So
maybe we should get him some cigarettes.
Who else do we need to cover on this list?
I mean, as we're going through, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a guy. Jerry West. They were all trying to figure out who Jerry West wanted in this draft. He was the first time he controlled the Clippers. He gets Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jerome Robinson, gets like 6'6", big point guard. That's the new thing that everyone's trying to do. Is why Lonzo was number 2 pick. And they get Jerome Robinson, who can shoot a lot of threes. Another guy who's also on our list out of Boston College. A lot of people probably didn't see him last year, but Kai Bowman and Jerome Robinson.
They beat Duke.
That was in December.
And who else did they beat? Didn't they have another upset that they?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't remember. They had another big
Virginia
win
or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Devon Carter. We're
just gonna pour one out, not physically.
Yeah,
but
Devon Carter. We're rooting for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's got the chops.
Also,
I'm really worried about the Devon Carter NBA career.
It's not good when you go in for your rookie contract and they try to sign you to the veterans minimum. That's never good. They're like, "What's your name again?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Devon Carter is like, he's gonna have the same attitude of Colin Sexton, where it's like he's gonna be told he's not good enough, and he's going to really work hard. And I love the kid's work. But he's just a great college player. That's like he's one of those guys that you just say, phenomenal college player. Just I don't know. He's just limited. Can't quite cut it. Who else do we got to talk about?
Lonnie Walker got injured with the Spurs, a guy from Miami that we were really excited about, 5-star dude. First Miami player, I think, to get all freshman honors in the ACC.
Miami was ranked 6th in the country. They started 10-0.
Yep. Bruce Brown, Lonnie Walker, DeJuan Huell, who's now DeJuan Hernandez, just changed.
Lonnie Walker, is very, very good and was very good, but I think he's not as good as he thinks he is, but that might be a good thing. That's like I said with Vince Edwards, we were worried about like Vince Edwards too nice of a guy. Lonnie Walker believes in himself.
There was a world in which where DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker were a fun young little duo in the backcourt, and then obviously with DeRozan coming in for the Spurs, that would have been cool. Wendell Carter, Duke guy, his mom, we all know she's probably the biggest star of this. She's the LeVar Ball of moms at this point.
Last but not least, Keita Bates-Diop, my guy, Ohio State, first round pick taken in the second round for some reason.
Surprising.
He's actually like beloved on the Timberwolves. Is the Jimmy Butler thing going to work out well for him somehow?
Well, he was on the team with Jimmy that beat the starters.
Oh, that's a good look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
So Luau Deng, Keita Bates-Diop, Jimmy Butler beat Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, all the rest of those guys.
That's it. Those are our rookies that we're really excited about.
And Mo Bamba, our favorite.
Mo Bamba
is a guy that we both saw him in summer league, talked to him a little bit. Super nice kid, super smart kid, and
Mo Bamba, again, not to brag, Mo Bamba, we were in Vegas, we're eating dinner.
Shout out Sheck West.
Mo Bamba says, save a seat for me. I'm going to go up and take a shower. I'll come eat dinner with you guys. Goes up and take a shower. Never saw him again. Never talked to him again. So love that kid. Great kid. Good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Really rooting for him.
Smart enough to get out of there.
So that's it. Those are our rookies. That's it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for letting us talk about the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA.
This is fun for
I will
us.
never talk about the NBA the rest of the season.